I haven't felt this way about a new IP RPG on the Nintendo Switch since 2019. And that game, you guys might all know what it is. That's Astral Chain. Nintendo Platinum Games delivered one of the best RPG action games, whatever you want to classify it as, one of the best that I've ever played. And now at this point, fast forward 4 years later, Nintendo Switch still around at this point, but we've got PlayStation 5 as well, PlayStation 4, and the Nintendo Switch, and it's a game called DECAPOLICE from Level 5. And while there is buzz within the RPG community about this game, I feel that the greater RPG fans out there don't know about it. And I am here to tell you that DECAPOLICE is going to be one of the best RPGs, period, on the Nintendo Switch. Level 5 is back, and they are better than ever. Now, recently, Level 5 had a Level 5 Vision event, and at this Vision event, they went over all of their new games that they're bringing to the market, and they are back with vengeance. Not only was it translated with subtitles, just a little bit too early in the morning, but hey, it is what it is there. But it was at 3 a.m. my time, 6 a.m. recently for the East Coast people. And I did end up watching all the different trailers that came out from that event. And it's great. They're back. They're ready to produce their games worldwide, to be a worldwide powerhouse like they were before in the past with games like Professor Layton and also Yokai Watch. So they're back with that. Inazuma 11 and more. There was some great stuff, so make sure you guys check out the extended stuff. I'll have videos, links, all that for you. But there's the game that I think that's going to change the fortunes going forward for Level 5. The game that's really going to get people to know Level 5 can make a serious modern edge RPG in today's day, because really they kind of wrote off that Yokai Watch wave hype. They had Ni no Kuni, but really there hasn't been anything super new, and that is DECAPOLICE, because they showed off more of this game. And not only from a presentation standpoint are the graphics sharp, vibrant, just really oozing with style, but it's also done in a certain way with the music that lines right up, the music that you would expect when you look at a video game like that. The music syncs up perfectly. The cutscenes, the style of the characters, the gameplay, everything feels like it was handcrafted to really suit what Level 5 does great. Have a listen real quick here, guys. Oh my God!
ついに来たな。ここがポリスセンター。
And what does Level 5 do great? The style of games like Ni no Kuni, Dark Cloud. They've done some incredible things, and this just fits that next puzzle piece for them with their big return to the worldwide market. Now, this game has a very unique blend and mix from a gameplay perspective, which is what I love about it and why I kind of harken it back to what Astral Chain was doing. They don't play similar. They do have a little bit of a similar theme with futuristic and you're part of a police force, but that's pretty much where the similarities stop. At the same time, you can tell that this new IP had a ton of love and care poured into it, and the source material, the developers were really trying to bring out the best when it comes to art, when it comes to gameplay, and when it comes to the narrative. And I think that's where, at least with this game compared to Astral Chain, the narrative could be far better in DECAPOLICE. So essentially, you are a future wave police officer. You have this decasm, this virtual world that you go back into to try to solve crimes. But now they actually revealed new information. So you go back 12 years to solve cold cases, to find out links and to see who did what, when, where, and how with that new technology, and you bring those people down. But not only do you bring them down just with force, you can actually even do it passively by bringing them down by convincing them to not do whatever they're doing and to stop resisting. So I think that it's really cool that there's going to be multiple different ways in order for you to get the job done. I like that variety. And I love the investigation phase. I think that the pacing for this game is going to be great because you go into that virtual world, you're looking at clues, you have your board up, you have to go into your thinking phase, you have to pin together who is the connections, who did what, when, where, and how, and then go from there and then engage virtually. So I love that so much. The analyzation, the reasoning, the evidence, all of that is super cool. It's like a mix between, Phoenix Wright and Batman Arkham and a really cool anime. So all of those things are really shaping up, combined with what I saw, probably the best thing with this game, and that's the gameplay. The gameplay and the combat looks fun. It looks interesting. The UI looks incredible as well, and it looks like it has a ton of customization and options, but done in that classic level 5 UI and font that's just very inviting and non-overwhelming. There is a certain skill to making UI and fonts, and I would just say quality of life visually, right? Visual quality of life for fans. And I would say that level 5 is one of the best in the business at that. So I love what they're doing here with DECAPOLICE. And once again, I do think that it's going to be one of the best new IP RPGs on the Nintendo Switch. One of the best RPGs on the Nintendo Switch for the whole system, period. I think that they're going to optimize the game. There was some concerns, which I think we can get into, about the game being PlayStation 5, PlayStation 4, and Nintendo Switch. Is this going to be a lackluster Nintendo Switch port? Because we did get not quite the best port for Ni no Kuni 1. It wasn't really remastered. It was just kind of Ni no Kuni from the PlayStation 3. Whereas Ni no Kuni 2, that one was a bit better. But once again, I don't think that was done by Level 5. Those were port studios that did that through Bandai Namco. So it's going to be interesting to see exactly how they get this done with DECAPOLICE. But it would be awesome, obviously, if it was Level 5 in-house doing that, which I think that it might be. They do have a brand new Professor Layton that, of course, is in-house. So I think that Level 5 has really been taking the time over the last couple years to not only flesh out these games coming out, but really get in tune with the new hardware, because they really haven't done much on the Nintendo Switch, on PlayStation 5, Xbox, whatever the case is. They haven't done much. After the whole Yokai Watch debacle and Inazuma 11 just essentially being eternally delayed forever, they really haven't done much in the newer gen. Even with the Switch being as old as it is, they were kind of still doing some 3DS. They were kind of looking into that. Yokai Watch 4 didn't really pan out the way they wanted to, and after that, it seemed like it was just depression from there on out. So I think that they took this time to really rejuvenate, to get back into it, and to learn the systems, learn, adapt, and plan out what they want to do and their strategy going forward, because you can't just be in Japan anymore. You can't just have an IP where you're just relying on that. You've got to be more of a worldwide brand, especially if you're doing RPGs or if you're doing puzzle games, things like that. You can only do so much only in Japan, and having that appeal there, you must bring that appeal worldwide, because there are millions upon millions of fans right here in the West, in the US, in Europe, that would love to be able to play the next great RPG from Level 5. Look at Fire Emblem, right? Nintendo used to think that was just a Japanese thing. We can't bring it out. No, you can bring it out to other places, and if you market it and if you make an incredible game, it can get more popular and you can sell millions of copies. I think that DECAPOLICE could be that next breakout RPG from a traditional developer like Level 5 with their games. Traditional, but new edge. So I'm loving what I'm seeing here. DECAPOLICE is looking phenomenal. But to move on to another game that I think is also looking phenomenal, Ys 10 Nordics. We've got brand new details with Adal and also Karja and the cross-action battle system. So very excited about this. Adal, we're going back in time. You guys know he's always the protagonist of the Ys games. He's 17 years old in this one, has a one-handed sword as well. And once again, he is already, even at this point, an extraordinary adventurer with the fiery red hair. So he is back once again. And then of course his friend, her name is Karja Varta. She's also 17 years old and she uses a hatchet and round shield. So it's pretty cool because you're going to be able to intertwine the battles between these two characters seamlessly. You can switch on the fly according to Falcom here. So let's talk a little bit more about that combat. Now the cross action, a new system which players switch between solo mode and combination mode. Solo mode lets you emphasize speed and consecutive attacks. In solo mode, you can fight as either Adal or Karja. Your partner will be controlled by AI. You can switch between the player character at any time during battle with a press of a button. Speed-oriented combat that utilizes step and dash based movement is the core component of solo mode. In addition to unleashing various skill attacks with Adal and Karja, the player can switch between characters mid-attack to trigger a partner cut-in attack, making it possible to drive into the enemy with consecutive attacks that leave them no opportunity to strike back. Now, additionally, the speed attacks with the blue aura unleashed by some enemies can be automatically dodged with solo mode's dash. You can deploy technical actions such as dealing damage by unleashing a counterattack with an automatic dodge that hits surrounding enemies. Now you also have the combination mode. This is for more power, offense, and defense. Now in combination mode, you fight as both Adal and Karja at the same time. Now you can switch from solo mode to combination mode by pressing a dedicated button for it. Now while in combination mode, it allows you to deal more damage thanks to the many simultaneous attacks that you can unleash. Standard movement and dash speeds are significantly reduced as well. Now to make up for your reduced speed, you have the guard, which is available as a dedicated action. By guarding against enemy attacks, your revenge gauge will increase, and activating combination mode exclusive skills in this state will fill the revenge gauge and allow you to deal even greater damage. Now additionally, these powers, the power attacks, these are the ones with the red aura unleashed by some enemies, can be repelled with combination mode's just guard. This will cause the enemy to significantly lose balance, creating an opening for burst attacks. So they've got a nice system here, and I'm really liking the Ys 10 cross and the cross between the weapons and these two characters fighting. Love it. I think that Ys 10 Nordics is going to be fantastic. And the interesting thing about this game is that Ys 10 Nordics is the first game that Falcom will be releasing day-and-date Ys with PlayStation in Japan, on the PlayStation, Switch, everything, right? PS4, PS5, Nintendo Switch in Japan 2023, and I think it's also developed in-house as well. They got some dev kits, they're developing it too. So it definitely took the whole generation, but they got it down, which is just awesome to see overall that they are finally taking advantage of that. Next up, let's talk about taking advantage of that Resident Evil 4 remake demo. It's called the Chainsaw Demo. It's available now, and I played it, and it's phenomenal. I just got this thing right now. It is phenomenal, and Capcom is finally doing away with those stupid demos that they do where they're timed. You can only play at 7 o'clock a.m. on January 21st for 3 seconds and 45 minutes, whatever the case is. I can't even think. They used to do these really weird timed demos where you can only play at certain times. No, not with this one. We're taking it back to 2004, 2005. We're taking it back to old school. When you got a demo, when you picked up a demo, it was a demo and you can play and see for yourself. And that's exactly what we're doing here, because the Chainsaw Demo is now available on PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, Xbox Series, and also PC. So the overview of the demo states, survival is just the beginning. Experience a taste of Resident Evil 4, a reimagining of the original game released in 2005. This demo consists of a specially tuned version of the game's opening sequence and can be played repeatedly without time restrictions. With modernized gameplay, a reworked story, and vividly detailed graphics, you can relive the nightmare of survival horror. Yes, sirree, I am ready to go with this game. Resident Evil 4 due out for PS5 Xbox Series, PS4, PC via Steam, March 24th. It will be here before you even know it. 2 weeks, we're going to be playing this game from the time that I'm recording this video, and I am excited to get into Resident Evil 4, the full game. I've been playing the demo. I love me some Resident Evil 4. It's one of my favorite games of all time. I picked it up pretty much day one. No, not even pretty much. Actually, day one back in 2005. I remember I went to GameStop, picked up the game, was hyped, ready to go. Oh my goodness. And I played it for like 6 or 7 hours straight, beat the game in the next day or two, and then replayed it again, and then consistently rebought the game on every single system that I owned since then. So I'm buying the game again, but this time we actually have some nice changes to the mix. So very excited, very much ready to go for Resident Evil 4 Remake, and I think that this demo is a very good idea because I think more people are even going to be convinced that didn't know the greatness of what Resident Evil 4 is. Third-person Resident Evil is the best Resident Evil. Sorry, first-person fans, I know you guys love that stuff, but you can't beat Resident Evil 4 in this classic style done like this. It's just too good. So very excited for that. So what do you guys think about all the different topics I've discussed here, guys? Let me know in the chat, and check out my other videos on DECAPOLICE and other RPGs that I've done this week and previous weeks. I'll have links to that right here on the page and also in the description below. Thank you so much for watching. We'll catch you for the next video. Peace.